Hi, and welcome to today's Piece of Peace. Started off my day with some gratitude, and it was beautiful. I had felt a bit discontent for a few days, and I was just trying to give that to God and just sort of stay in His presence and practice His presence, write out gratitude after gratitude after gratitude, and battling that a little bit in the morning. And that afternoon, I got a call from my son to see if we were available to meet up with him and our granddaughter. And it's such a delight of my life to be with my children and my grandchildren. It really is the biggest joy I have. So I was writing out just my gratitude for being with Dolly, Nora, and my son, and grateful for taking a walk. It was snowing yesterday, so my husband and I went walking, and tons of snow, and we're just like hooded up. My coat's like a huge sleeping bag, and so I feel like I'm walking around in a big sleeping bag. And our other son is in a state where it's very warm right now. And so we took pictures of ourselves saying, here's what we're doing, and all you can see are our eyes behind some goggles, and we're just covered in snow. And it was just crazy. So they sent us pictures of themselves, in the sunshine where it was warm, in tank tops and stuff. And I was just thinking, wow, what a difference being in Minnesota or someplace warm. I keep saying to my husband, I love the beach. Why aren't we going to the beach when it's warm? Because it's COVID. Anyway, being grateful for the playfulness with the kids as we were showing them our snowbill and them in their sunshine. Grateful for dinner and grateful for a ride in the car last night looking at Christmas lights. That was just such a sweet, enduring time. And I was writing out to the Lord, so much is happening here in the United States. Our election's in a horrible mess. Too many unanswered questions about COVID-19 and what's really happening to our entire world. I said, help me, please, to keep my focus on you, Jesus, and what you want my hand to be put to in this time. The song Make Room came into my heart. Here's where I lay down every burden, every crown. This is my surrender. This is my surrender. This is where I lay down every lie and every doubt. This is my surrender. And the chorus says, and I will make room for you to do whatever you want to. To do whatever you want to. I will make room for you to do whatever you want to. Google that song. It's going to be your new fave. So I said, Lord, let me know when you want me to do a worship night. I feel like God's calling me to do that. And then I just ended up with one thing I ask, this I seek, is that I may dwell in your presence all the days of my life, to gaze upon your beauty and to inquire of you in your temple. And at that, I felt like the Lord's presence started to fall and flow over, and I'm like, thank you for your presence. He says, come back to me, my warrior. We have much work to do together, he says. And that's what brought me into our devotion today. And we're actually going to be in Exodus. So I'm reading out of our daily bread, and we're going to be in Exodus 34. Starting in 1 and going through 7. And this is a time when Moses was up on Mount Sinai, after he had crashed the 10 Commandments because of his anger towards the Israelites for creating an idol instead of just serving God. And he went back up, and God was going to renew those 2 tablets that they were going to be carrying with them for quite some time. But we'll start in 1. The new stone tablets. The Lord said to Moses, chisel out 2 stone tablets like the first ones, and I will write on them the words that were on the first tablets which you broke. Be ready in the morning, and then come up on Mount Sinai. Present yourself to me there on top of the mountain, and no one is to come with you or be seen anywhere on the mountain. Not even the flocks and herds may graze in front of the mountain. So Moses chiseled out 2 stone tablets like the first ones and went up Mount Sinai early in the morning. Now I have to pause here for just a minute. For any of you who have gone mountain climbing, I find carrying 2 stone chiseled tablets, and I picture them not being small. Like I kind of picture them being, like this big, and you're hauling this big rock, and I'm thinking to myself, how in the world did he ever climb up Mount Sinai carrying two stone tablets? That was my side note and where my mind went during this. But present yourself. So Moses chiseled out two stone tablets like the first ones, went up Mount Sinai early in the morning, as the Lord had commanded him, and he carried the two stone tablets in his hands. What? That's so heavy. Then the Lord came down in a cloud and stood there with him and proclaimed his name. And this is what he said. The Lord, and proclaimed his name, the Lord, as he passed in front of Moses, proclaiming, this is what he said, the Lord, the compassionate, the gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness, maintaining love to thousands, and forgiving wickedness, rebellion, and sin. That's how he explained himself, his identity. Yet he does not leave the guilty unpunished. He punishes the children and their children for the sin of the fathers to the third and fourth generation. That's something to take note of. So he's not a father who doesn't punish sin. As a matter of fact, he states that he punishes to the third and fourth generation. So we pay for the sins of our parents, and our children pay for ours in this. So then, I'm reading in Exodus. The way he described himself was amazing. And as this writer of the devotion, Sheridan Voice says, titles it True Success, and points out this. The Lord, the compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness. And writes, My interview guest politely answered my questions. I had a feeling, though, that something lurked beneath our interaction. A passing comment brought it out. You're inspiring thousands of people, I said. Not thousands, he muttered, millions. And as if pitying my ignorance, my guest reminded me of his credentials, the titles he held, the things he achieved, and the magazines he'd graced in a very awkward moment. Ever since that experience, I've been struck by how God revealed himself to Moses on Mount Sinai. He was the creator of the cosmos, the judge of humanity, but God didn't use his titles. Here was the marker of 100 billion. He was the maker of 100 billion galaxies, but such feats weren't mentioned either. Instead, God introduced himself as compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness. When he reveals who he is, it isn't his titles or achievements he lists, but the kind of character he has. As people made in God's image and called to follow his example, this is profound. Achievement is good, titles have their place, but what really matters is how compassionate, gracious, and loving we are becoming. Like that interview guest, we too can base our significance on our achievements. I have. So have I. But our God has modeled what true success is. Not what's written on our business cards and resumes, but how we're becoming like him. Sheridan's charge was this: how tempted are you to base your significance on your accomplishments? What aspect of God's character needs to grow in you today? And Sheridan's prayer. Spirit of God, make me compassionate, gracious, patient, and loving. That brought us into Jesus Calling. So I want to pull that out and give you this perspective. Sarah Young wrote this book, which you can order online. She writes from the perspective of God speaking to us. And today it says, I am leading you along a way that is uniquely right for you. The closer to me you grow, the more fully you become your true self, the one I designed you to be. Because you are one of a kind, the path you are traveling with me diverges increasingly from that of other people. However, in my mysterious wisdom and ways, I enable you to follow this solitary path while staying in close contact with others. In fact, the more completely you devote yourself to me, the more freely you can love people. Marvel at the beauty of a life intertwined with my presence. Rejoice as we journey together in intimate communion. Enjoy the adventure of finding yourself through losing yourself in me. And that's today's piece of peace. God bless you.